So let's start with knowing the fungus. So there are two fungal forms. So there's the yeast form and the mold form. Now, I know most of you know this, but nakikita ko lagi ito sa mga clients namin, sa mga clinicians na, mga techs na tumatawag sa amin. Sasabihin sa akin, no, I did not send you a mold. I sent you, no, ang sabi niya, no, I did not send you a fungus. I sent you a yeast. I go, well, fungus and yeast is a fungus too, sabi kong gano'n. Kasi hindi nila alam yon. Kaya yun, nilagay ko siya dito para alam nyo lahat na a yeast is a fungus too. It's just the unicellular form. So pareho sila. So don't be confused. Okay? Then, next one, please. So a few terms. Kasi ito relevant to sa ating talk ngayon. So one is like, there are fungi that are pleomorphic. Pleomorphic fungi means that there are those that have more than one independent stage in the life cycle. So pleomorphic, marami siyang morphologies. And then we have the holomorph, which has all the stages of the life cycle of a fungus. And we have the teleomorph, which is the sexual state. The anomorph is the asexual state. So, tagin natin babanggitin yung teleomorph, anomorph in the next slide. So please, teleomorph, sexual, anomorph, asexual. Teleomorph, sexual, anomorph, asexual. Okay? And then the two of them together, it becomes a holomorph. So yun. So again, the life history of a fungus. The next one, please, JP. So this is the life history of a fungus. So they have the anomorph and the teleomorph, but they can occur at the same time. Sometimes they occur independently from each other or at the same time. So if they occur at the same time, yun ang nagiging holomorph siya. So get nyo na? Okay? Kasi I know fungi, when I talk about fungi, it's very jargony. So some terms that are very familiar to us, but we don't really know when it comes to fungus, the meaning is different. Okay? It's the same with chemistry. There are a lot of jargons that I don't understand when they're talking in chemistry, but you're familiar with the words, so bear with me, okay? So then, I would like to give you examples of pleomorphic fungi. So here's a species called Blastomyces dermatitidis. So they have the mycelial or the hyphal stage, and then they have the yeast stage, which is called the BBB. So broad-based budding yeast. Sometimes they're in tissue, but sometimes they can occur in culture also. So they're together sometimes. So that's why Blastomyces is also called dimorphic because it can change into a yeast form in tissue, but also pleomorphic because they can occur together in culture in vitro. So on your plate, like you can see them when you make a mount. Okay, so another example of a pleomorphic fungi is the Pseudolicheria boydii. Nice name, right? Baka mama, pangalan nyo sa mga anak nyo yun, ha? Uy, Pseudolicheria! Sige na!
Kind of a mouthful po.
Ha? It's a mouthful
po siya, tita.
Baka po ano na lang, baka pina lang, tita.
Pwede rin. So, anyway, itong Pseudolicheria boydii, pleomorphic fungi. So makikita mo meron siyang what we call the graphium anomorph, which is a bunch of the Scedosporium anomorph. So if you look at the Scedosporium anomorph, it's just a single conidiophore with the conidia on the stalk. And then when they're bunched together, they become the graphium anomorph. So when you see this in culture, do not panic because you don't have a contaminated culture. these are just plymorphic fungi having two morphologies together or two states. So kung dalawa ang anamorph mo, ang tawag doon, synanamorphs. So one or two. So marami siyang anamorph. So synanamorph siya. Okay? So that's another example of a plymorphic fungi. So then here are examples of the anamorphic fungi in the phylum Ascomycota. Now I'm showing you this so that when you're looking for this, when you're looking at your cultures, you will want to look for these structures because these are the ones that you would need for identification. Otherwise, there's nothing to go by kung wala kang makikitang ganito. Okay? So these are anamorphs or the asexual state of species in the phylum Ascomycota. So here's Cladosporium with the typical shield cell. And then there's the acrimonium with the sticky heads. And then you have the boat-shaped Macroconidia in the Fusarium. And then you have the Arthroconidia of Coccidioides. And you have Alternaria and Aspergillus. So I'm sure most of you are familiar of these fungi. And another slide, next one, are examples of teleomorphs naman, mga sexual structures ng species in the phylum Ascomycota. So here, the first one is a Cleistothecium. So it's a structure that is round, but it's completely closed. Open lang yan kasi in-squish ko bago ko kinuha na ng picture. Yan yung bago kong discovery noong 2002. Anyway, so completely closed. Tapos yung Perithecium, round din siya, pero meron siyang opening, as you see in that drawing. And then yung Pseudothecium, yun yung ascoma na embedded siya sa tissue ng plant na ini-infect niya or in the tissue of a patient or sa yung may sakit na patient mo. So that's Pseudothecium. So na-embed siya sa ilalim siya ng tissue ng plant or leaf. Thus, we have the Gymnothecium. Those are what we call the naked ascomata. Kasi you can see through them. So naked siya. And then you have the Apothecium, which is what we call the cup fungi. Makikita mo yan sa field, sa mga woods. Na mga orange siya na gano'n. Cute. Para siyang mushroom, pero hindi siya mushroom. Okay? Next one, please. So here is an example of the teleomorph and anamorph together in one plate. So this is the Neosartoria anamorph. And then you have the Aspergillus, so Neosartoria teleomorph and the Aspergillus anamorph. So makikita mo siya, meron yung mga round structures, hindi masyadong kita sa plate. But if you make mounts, this is what you see. Okay? So note here that the Neosartoria teleomorph is different from the name of the anamorph, which is Aspergillus. So yun, pag-uusapan natin yun sa next slide. Okay, here are examples, or an example of a teleomorph and anamorph in the phylum Basidiomycota. So alam mo yung Basidiomycota, yun yung mga mushrooms. So makikita mo yung teleomorph niya kasi nakikita mo sa field, yung bracket fungi na nasa trees, nakikita mo yon, that's a teleomorph. And then yung mga kinakain nating mushrooms. Tapos yung puffball, that's a mushroom too. Kikita mo yon pagka sabihin mo, pag kumulog, maglalabasan yung malalaking puffball. Sabi mo, tapos iihian daw ng aso, merong mushrooms na lalabas. Oo, kasi merong mga tawag na gano'n, yung urea fungi. So, which is this Coprinellus radians. Nakikita mo yun sa woods. So, mismo, kung gusto mo mag-isolate niyan, maglagay ka ng urea. Tapos babalik ka the next day, makikita mo may tutubo na doon. So, pwede ka na manguha ng sample na yon. So, anyway, ang makikita mo sa Basidiomycota, yung mushroom, pero yung anamorph niya, para lang siya yung mga anamorph ng Ascomycota. Katulad nitong Coprinellus at saka Phanerochaete. Okay?